Well, hello, everyone. Hi, hi. Hello, hello, hello. How's my microphone? Can everybody hear me okay? I'll make sure the microphone is okay. Excuse me. Looks like it's low, but it's good. All right. So welcome, 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 everybody. Thanks for coming. This is the Sunday show. I am the Oracle of Whimsy. I am the alter ego, excuse me, of the good Dr. Whimsy, Dr. Whimsy Anderson, the greatest naturopathic doctor who has ever lived in this apartment. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yes. So on Sundays, we get together with my alter ego and we entertain you. So, how is everybody doing? Everybody doing good? Awesome, possum. Let's go ahead and give greetings to everybody before we get started. Hi, Tony. Good to see you there. Hi, Cartomancy. Good to see you. Julie Torado. Hello, hello. Thanks for helping out today. Hi, Tony. Florendo. Good to see you. Welcome. Francie's in the house. Linda Bishops. Good to see you here. Okay, so Francie asked a good question. This year's fundraiser for Planned Parenthood. Every year, if you've been watching this channel, the channel's almost 3 years old. I think it is 3 years old, right? We raised money for Planned Parenthood last year. We had a goal of raising $4,000 for Planned Parenthood, and we raised almost $5,000. So give yourselves a round of applause for last year's campaign. Last year's Planned Parenthood campaign, the honorary recipient of the certificate usually went to Mike Pence, and that was a campaign run by Planned Parenthood, not by me. That if you wanted to raise money for Planned Parenthood, and then a certificate was sent to Mike Pence saying, hey, guess what? Somebody donated $1,000 in your honor. So hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of dollars were raised in that campaign for Planned Parenthood. And it was kind of funny and people thought it's cute, but we don't have a Mike Pence in the White House anymore. So now we have moved our attention elsewhere. We have moved our attention to Texas and their draconian laws, which unfortunately are preventing poor women from getting the medical care that they need. So I'm sorry if people were a little confused, but this is an annual event that we do, raising money for Planned Parenthood. And our goal is $2,500, a little lower than last year. And that's because of COVID. A lot of people are not working. So I apologize if there was some confusion. 100% of the money is going to Planned Parenthood, helping underserved women receive the medical care they desperately deserve. So thank you so much if you've participated in today's fundraiser campaign. We'll be running to the end of the month. Amaris Quinlan, you upgraded to Elders and Empaths. Great. We have an amazing lecture happening. Speaking of the channel members, and thank you everybody who supports the channel by being a member. We actually have a really interesting lecture. I think I'm going to be changing the times for class or offering 2 classes just because people are not able to make the evening class. So it'd be great when people want to hear lectures on remote viewing. But the next lecture is fascinating. We're going to be going in depth on how you profile, how you become the killer, how you become the person that you're or the victim, how you attempt to locate somebody if you're working to solve a crime or something like that. Particularly with the more advanced students, we really want you to get comfortable with profiling and being in the shoes of another person, whether it's, chasing after, Brian Laundrie. Is that how you say his name? Those are the kinds of fun things we do on that channel. I have to change the channel a little bit because the intro is wrong. Fairies and Angels, excuse me. Fairies and Angels is $2.99. That's the basic tier. We get together, we have fun, we do little fun videos. The Healers and Empaths is lectures on naturopathic medicine, remote viewing, herbal medicine. We do a little bit of herbal medicine also with fairies and angels. And then we have a benefactors package, which is $99 a month. And that comes with a free reading once a month and all the other benefits. So thank you, everybody who has participated. Also, thank you to Amaris Quinlan became a fairy and an angel. Then she upgraded to Elders and Empaths. Okay, cool. Love it. And we also have a $5 donation that was made to Planned Parenthood anonymously. And we want to thank the donation, the person who donated. Well, there's a lot going on. What do y'all think? What do you think is going on? What do you think the priorities are today in terms of what we need to talk about in terms of remote viewings? Oh, Lady Di, hi, good to see you here. Maybe I should take that Abbott thing away, because I think people really, but when it's said in honor of Mike Pence, everybody got the joke. I don't know. All right, so a couple things people wanted me to remote view. One of the things that came up had to do with concerns about there's news coming out of the House. House Capitol Attacks Panel. Do you all know about this? That the House is running a panel to investigate the Capitol riots. Now they've subpoenaed. Did I say that right? Subpoena. It's one of those words that I don't pronounce right sometimes. Subpoena. There's a lot of teachers here that correct my English, and I'm completely okay with that. All right, so Mark Meadows, Dan Scavino, Steve Bannon, who I believe is an informant, which is probably what's kept him out of jail up to this point, and Kash Patel. So this was the main remote view I did last night, excuse me. I feel like it's going to be more of the runaround. I think that they're going to work with their lawyers. I think that if they do agree to speak in front of the House, that they're going to do a lot of I don't remember, I don't recall. I don't feel like anything important is going to happen. I think it's kind of a misdirection of our energies when you go into this. It's just going to be another case of games, another case of slithering out of questions, not being able to prosecute the wealthy, and it's just makes us want to rip our hair out. But I don't feel like that's what the powers that be are going to do with these people. It really feels to me like they're just going to be shut down financially. If anybody's going to put these people in jail, it's going to be the IRS. It's going to be tax evasion. It's going to be hiding money overseas. That's really more likely going to be what takes out this group of people than being called before any kind of panel or anything like that, because they've got a ton of lawyers that are going to help them and tons of money backing the Republicans to keep them in power doing horrible, terrible things. So we hold on to this hope that, okay, the truth's going to come out, they're going to go before the panel, but energetically, it just doesn't feel that way, I'm sorry to say. Yeah, Debbie K, exactly. It feels more like, also when we throw cards, when all the readers throw cards, it's all about financial devastation, fraud. Two of Pentacles is a card that comes up a lot in these readings, and that is a card that I use a lot. It has like the Loki energy, right? It's the energy of deception, connery, moving money from here to there, money overseas, money in South America. It makes sense after the meditation, because you think about what's going on in Brazil and the fact that people were bought in Brazil and the fact that there's a Putin puppet in Brazil. And so the amount of money that had to go into funding campaigns like that so that Putin could have some kind of control over what was happening politically in South America. It doesn't surprise me that there's also money and the same powers that be that were interested in getting involved in bribing people in Congress were doing things that were similar in other countries that were financially beneficial to them, whether it was installing Erdogan in Turkey or what's going on in Hungary, Poland. A lot of that, we've talked about that also. When you go into remote views on people, when you go into a remote view on Putin, it was always about he wanted to get that oil, he wanted to get that pipeline going, and so he had to get the surrounding countries to go along with it, breaking down NATO and putting people in power that were basically going to support him. So I always see that as the bigger issue than whether or not somebody is gonna testify in front of the House, because it just seems so not what's actually going on and what the actual investigation is. Yeah, I object, I don't recall. I mean, it's very frustrating. Oh, hi, Adana Marie. Thank you for joining Fairies and Angels. Yeah, so it is a feeling when you go into it of just more gaslighting, delay. Steve Bannon is a really interesting energy to go into because on the one hand, he's doing all these creepy things, but he's always slithering out. I think he used to work for the Pentagon. He's always slithering out of these situations. And you just think, God, who does he have on the inside that he's doing deals with that keeps him out of jail? There's just no way somebody could slither in and out and do the things that Bannon has done without having some kind of protection from the inside. And I think that's fairly obvious. And I think we see that also with people like, oh gosh, Roger Stone, right? Roger Stone has helped so many Republicans, dirty trickster, that it's almost created kind of a protective seal for him because he has done so many favors, because he has so much dirt on so many people. So you have a situation now where Adam Schiff is asking the Justice Department if the Justice Department will prosecute these individuals if they don't testify. And again, it just feels like a game. No, they'll testify, they just won't tell us anything. So that becomes the frustration, right? That becomes the thing that just drives us crazy. And so, but to be honest with you, I just don't, I feel like we're always being directed and focused towards things that have nothing to do with what's really going on. That's how I feel as a remote viewer. I feel like what's really going on has to do with people in positions of power protecting their stuff and manipulating governments so that they can protect their stuff and have more stuff. Yeah. Sounds rather cynical, doesn't it? Any comments about that? No, yes, sort of. A little bit. All right, so I think that's everything I had on the remote. I could have thrown individually at the future of everybody that's being called before Congress. Some of them, it just looks really bad. Like, I don't know who Kash Patel is, but his energy going forward into the future looked terrible. Steve Bannon, like I said, he's just very oily. Mark Meadows, he's the one when we did an energetic remote on Mark Meadows, and that just looked terrible. Like he had no future. And the same with Dan Scavino is another one. God, what happened to him? Gee. So it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out with their future. But to be honest with you, a lot of Republicans that are in positions of power right now, they don't look like they have much of a future. It kind of goes into the whole conversation about arguing. Oh, we don't want to pass this bill. We don't want to pass this bill. It's all posturing because the global community is going to put up 40 trillion for uh, um, turning the turning over to the new fuel, new green economy, etc. So we knew that the Republicans were eventually going to go along with it. The whole reason of fighting with the Democrats isn't because they're not going to go along with it, since everybody's going to go along with it. The reason that they are trying to fight with the Democrats is they're trying to weaken the Democrats and make the Democrats appear powerless. And it looks to me more like a political thing than anything else, which is why I had a feeling that some version of it would pass. It's an interesting question, Linda. I don't know, but we can throw on it. Did anybody have any questions about that before we do the community, do the empath's prayer, and then we'll go ahead and give you guys a community reading? Does that sound like fun? He prayed to say, I don't know, sounds very bizarre. Yeah. Oh, hello, Oklahoma. Thank you for rescuing poor women in Texas. Oh, Marion Crow finally made it to alive. Privatization of water. A lot of this stuff is coming from the British aristocracy, from the Tories, right? In the 1980s, there was a movement. The conservatives wanted to privatize water. Yes, we've got to privatize the armies. Then we don't have to pay taxes, right? Everything will be privatized. And the good news is if it's privatized, there'll be less government oversight. So we make money, the private sector, we make money. We charge the government. We do a crappy job and there's no oversight. Doesn't that sound perfect? And then we get your money. It's cost effective. Expensive for you. Doesn't work as well, like the disaster with the post office, which is another thing people wanted us to throw on today. DeJoy said the goal for DeJoy is to make the mail go even slower, right? All right, let's do the empath's prayer. Let's do a reading. Sound good? You guys like to get a community reading? Oh, I forgot to light my candle. All right. Ew, lots of yeah, Texas electricity. Yeah, exactly. The privatization. Didn't that work great? Yeah. All right. The empath's prayer starting at 1835. Okay. Okay, I want to call on white light protection for myself and